When ye have freed thy soul from its bondage, know that for ye the darkness is gone. Even through space ye may seek wisdom, bound not by fetters forged in flesh. Thoth, Tablet 4. Lord Thoth wrote many books, and it is said that he wrote 42 in total, and many of them are lost or hidden away, waiting to be discovered. They are said to be magical treatises. Some people call these the Hermetica, written by the thrice great Hermes, which is another name for Thoth. Thrice great because he came to our world 3 times to pass on his great teachings, firstly as Thoth, then as Hermes the god, and then as Hermes the man scribe. These are the personages of the threefold Hermetrismegistus. Thoth comes in 2 forms, the most recognised being with a human body and an ibis bird head. The second form is as a baboon. This is when he is the god of equilibrium, Ayan. It is not known how to actually pronounce Thoth's name, and it comes with various spellings, one being Jehuti, which means he who is like the ibis. And this is when he is depicted with an ibis head, the ibis being a sacred bird in ancient Egypt. Thoth is an advisor to the gods and goddesses, giving advice and judgment on situations. He mediates in situations and is regarded as a peacemaker and a judge. He also is the record keeper of not just all the gods' actions, but our own too. Sometimes he is pictured holding an ankh, a famous hieroglyphic symbol resembling a cross and sceptre. Other times he is pictured holding a scribe's palette and stylus. This is because he is the Lord of the divine words. He is the recorder of events. Being the creator of the written word, he gave the writing to the peoples. He's always been closely associated with Ra and the concept of divine order, and justice thus being the recorder of the records, he would report everything to Ra. Thoth also has a mansion where he keeps all the records that he has made. It is known as the Mansion of Thoth, and this mansion is in a different part of time and space compared to where we live. It's in another dimension. Lord Thoth is a just judge, and another of his roles is being Lord of the Dead, in the form of Ayan, the baboon-headed version of himself. Thoth presided over the weighing of the heart, the procedure that happens after death, when one is taken to the halls and one's heart is weighed against the feather of truth that belonged to Mayat, the goddess of truth. When one's heart is weighed, it is then decided if one may continue on into the next life. If one's heart fails the balance test, then it is the end of one's existence. So that's a brief history of Thoth the Egyptian, but who is Thoth the Atlantean? These last 150 years, give or take, seem to be full of lost books being discovered and esoteric teachers rising, the light breaking through, and I wonder why. My answer is that there seems to be a great awakening going on. The Emerald Tablets of Thoth the Atlantean is one such newly discovered book, and it is aimed at those who want to wake up. It is actually a set of tablets that were written on emerald stone, and the reason why they were written on emerald stone is because Lord Thoth has come back to educate humanity again. These emerald tablets are about the warfare going on between good and evil, the darkness and the light, the war that wages not only in the universe but also within oneself. Dr. Doriel was the founder of the Brotherhood of the White Temple, and he was authorised by the Great White Lodge, who are said to be the elder brothers of mankind, to retrieve these tablets from a pyramid in South America. These tablets are of emerald green, and they were formed through an alchemical process. A special substance was made through this alchemical transmutation, and the tablets were formed. Because of the way they've been created, these tablets are indestructible. They cannot be changed in any way, nor rewritten over. These words are truly fixed in stone. There is said to be 12 of them, and Dr. Doral found them and translated them. Then he was instructed to put them back. They are now said to be hidden in a chamber in the Giza pyramid. How could Dr. Doral translate them? It is said that the characters on the tablets are attuned to thought waves, and that they can, through some kind of telepathy, react with the reader. but only if the reader is attuned to the stones and in the right frame of mind, body and collected emotions. In other words, only when one is in harmony with oneself will one be able to pick up the vibrations of the words of the tablets. According to the tablets, Thoth was a priest king, born in the city of Kior in Atlantis. His father was Thoth, keeper of the temple of the island of Unau. When Thoth was young, he was chosen by the dweller of the temple, who was to become his teacher in the wise ways. Thoth drank from the cup of wisdom, and as he became more wise, he took on the role of the teacher to humanity. Whilst Thoth lived in Atlantis, a terrible darkness filled many men's hearts, and people turned away from the divine, and instead fell into the dark and bad ways. When the darkness took over, the island had to be cleansed, so the great waters rose and spread over the land, causing Atlantis to sink below the waves. The Emerald Tablets have a main mission, which is to warn people about the darkness, which can take over anybody and put that person into bondage. Thoth has left instructions as to how to avoid this and instead be a person free and living in the light. When Atlantis sank, Thoth went to Kem, which is the ancient name for Egypt. How did he get there? Through his search and his lessons, Thoth learnt to travel through space by conquering the ether. He used the force that is all around us, the force that is the foundation of all things. Well, the tablets say he flew in his spaceship. Now, these ancient tablets may sound like science fiction, as Lord Thoth tells us how he travels in his spaceship through the universe to the outer limits. When he finished his travels, he parked the spaceship and built a monument on top of it, and that monument is the Sphinx. Thoth is just a man. He teaches right from wrong, and there is an old adage that says if one is to conduct one's life in a right manner, then one is living straight and true like Thoth. Lord Thoth asked the reader, what is your mission? Are you heading for infinite wisdom? What will you do with it? And these books instruct how one can become one of the masters who are free from the bonds of darkness. Each man is a star bound to a body, and his mission is to free himself. Thoth says to do this, one has to unlock space-time by finding infinity's circle of light and thus become free of the bondage of the night. But this knowledge and wisdom cannot be given to one on a plate. One has to seek it. Once discovered, to ponder on it, and the answers will come to one. But to do this, one has to lift the veil of darkness and let the light in, and to be able to do that, one must have the longing, the hunger to know more, as Thoth says, to want to conquer the path that leads to the stars. But this type of work attracts the dark forces. It spots that light and wants to know what's going on and, if possible, to put that spark of light out, to extinguish it. So Lord Thoth warns that as you develop and learn, you must also be aware. Thoth reminds us that wisdom is boundless, it is ongoing and grows greater through the ages, and we too can grow and develop with it. If one understands the way the laws of the universe operate, then one can transcend them. He continually reminds the reader that there is an eternal struggle between light and darkness, and that this battle began in the days of the first man. The brothers of darkness and their dark path lets them walk through man's dreams, causing nightmares, disrupting our sleep, and without a good night's sleep we are all a bit grumpy. The dark brothers can reach into man's mind space, which allows them to mess with our minds by putting paranoid thoughts in them. The dark realms of our minds and hearts is where they lurk, waiting to tempt us to the dark path. Lord Thoth gives exercises as to how to avoid this. Lord Thoth wants to help one banish the darkness from inside one and instead become full of light. Chaos is darkness, order is light. According to Thoth, life is not fixed. We can change our life, our destiny. Nothing is fated or set in stone. But we can only change things if we wake up. Thoth emphasises that the progress, the development of the soul is the aim, is the way, is the work one should be working upon. Seek ye and know ye my key of wisdom. Thus, O man, ye shall surely be free. From Tablet 4 of the Emerald Tablets of Thoth.